Let's bring in from House Ways and Means. Look who's here, the one and only Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. What did you make of this latest job report?
Well, look, I think it's early before President Trump, we really start kicking things in. He's done a lot of executive orders, but we have a lot to codify. We have to get past our budget, and we also have to do the reconciliation bill, which keeps the tax cuts permanent and puts in place a lot of important things to give our economy a boost. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow the economy while we're trying to reduce the cost. Because remember, President Trump, under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, brought a record amount of revenues, but then in came Joe Biden and COVID, and we were spending, and now we continue to spend more than we bring in, even their historic levels. That's why enter DOGE. We need to start spending less and being more responsible and streamlining what we do in government. And remember, Joe Biden, a lot of his numbers reports were focused on government jobs that were created, not manufacturing and jobs in the private sector. The private sector is what is going to bring us the growth that we need, unleashing American energy, sealing the border, and making sure we're not continuing to pay billions and billions of dollars for illegal immigrants, whether it's for their food, their housing, their prison stays, you name it. And we're spending money to try to deport them had they never been brought up. There's just a lot that's got to happen in the next several months, and I think you'll see the growth come back.
You know, Congresswoman, I enjoy being geeky and nerdy with you because you're very smart. So let's do the reality check of what's going on. The U.S. government is at a record high 3 million workers. That does not include 3.7 million government independent contractors. So it's about 6.7 million. Trump is trying to bring staff levels back to the Clinton era. Yeah, we know the population grew about 27%, but what they're talking about is a standard private sector cut of about 5% all in. And the Democrats are not acknowledging the blowout in government contractors. It's now when we're going to show the fraction of the overall federal employees at each agency of who's getting laid off. The other thing, too, is, you know, the president is trying, as you point out, he's trying to detox the U.S. government from government spending like Biden did. And so when you see that, you look at the GDP numbers we're about to show, debt to GDP is astronomical. He's trying to reset it. So GDP growth is going to look a little bit wobbly, but he's getting, I think, nearly $2 trillion investments into the U.S. economy. A new one is Siemens and Honda is a new announcement. What's your take?
Right. I think that that's an important point to make. It is, you really have to look at what's government and what isn't. And we do need government workers, and we do need people to run certain aspects of our government, especially in the security fields and things like that, and defense spending. But when it comes to actually, there's so many functions that government is doing. And remember something also, we have created these specific missions in government, and they never go away. Even when the mission is done, the people stay there because they're languishing on getting the pay increases, the pension, the health care, and all that. It just builds, and now we have this massive government. So I think the refocus, and when you see those GDP numbers, is going to be on bringing private sector jobs and private sector growth, and that's what we're focused on.
Interesting. Claudia Tenney, Congresswoman, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Great to see you.